One of the things that I try to encourage guys to do is get off of the vehicle a little bit. It's counterintuitive where we feel safe when we're bunched up against the vehicle, but like you just saw there, one officer stepped on another officer and it compromised his balance a little bit. All right, this is Randy with Direct Action. I've been asked to do a breakdown of a video that we're about to watch here is a police shooting in New Mexico. And just so you're aware, ask the operator questions, and much like these questions, they're not scripted, and I have not seen it, so you're getting the authentic version of my thoughts. So ask the operator, same thing when those questions come in, they're not rehearsed in any way, and you're getting the authentic version of my thoughts.
A standoff, hostage situation, and shooting, all caught on body camera video by New Mexico police officers.
I can't see him, LT! Okay, right there. Front of car. He's pointing at him. Drop the gun! Drop it! Do it now! Now! Put the gun on the ground! Good.
Body camera video shows officials calling for Macias to drop the weapon. When he raised his gun, officers opened fire.
So just the first piece in the placement of where the officers are. When we talk a little bit about vehicle combatives and fighting in and around vehicle, one of the things that I try to encourage guys to do is get off of the vehicle a little bit. It's counterintuitive where we feel safe when we're bunched up against the vehicle, but like you just saw there, one officer stepped on another officer and it compromised his balance a little bit. So giving yourself some space to work in and around, yes, it is wise to use a piece of hard cover like this vehicle, but what I would encourage is standing off the vehicle a little bit so you can still see what you need to see. You still could be effective if you need to take a well-aimed shot, but without actually hugging the vehicle.
I can't see him, LT! Okay, right there. Front of car. He's pointing at him.
In all, officials fired 36 shots in Macias's direction. He was struck in the foot.
Just so you know, we got a guy down over there. Tack loading. Check yourselves. You guys good? Stepping over to you guys.
So good communication between a couple of officers there. I'm not sure who spoke to who, but the point being is they're communicating what they're doing, not necessarily what they want the other officer to do, which is wise in my opinion. When it comes to communication, sometimes that can fall off the rails. Rather than telling somebody what they're doing, you just let them know what you're doing. So for an example, this officer conducted a tactical reload, he communicated that, and then he also moved, or one of these officers moved, and he communicated, hey, I'm moving over here to get a better vantage point. That's good communication.
Body camera video shows officers attempt to get another view of Macias after he ran from the scene. Meanwhile, his friend wrestles the gun away from him and throws it over a fence.
Let me step in front of you, bro. Rifle. Drop it! He's running! Watch out for the victim! Never slow down! Watch out for the victim! Drop the gun! Drop it! Let me see your hands! That's away from us! He's running! 40 hands!
So when you notice one officer decided to get on the move there and take off to the right, two officers had both long guns up. The one officer that is ahead of the other officer, you need to be cautious, when you're moving, especially in a dynamic scenario like this where shots could be fired, and like you just heard, shots had already been fired, to do a shoulder check so you're not inadvertently running into the arc of one of your friendlies.
Officers jump over walls and fences to close in on Macias.
Get over here. You'll have to stand, see?
They can be heard calling for Macias to drop the weapon.
Drop him! Move! Drop him! Let him go!
Finally, officials approach the suspect who has taken his friend as a hostage. Officers fire a less lethal weapon in an effort to get Macias to release the man. When that doesn't work, they tase him. Macias was treated for his gunshot wound. He was later charged for false imprisonment and...
So that last officer, as you see him launch himself over the fence, and then he went to a less lethal, so he chose a taser for this choice. Sometimes when training, what's a good idea, a good practice, is to transition from less lethal to lethal. If he needed to transition while he's running with a taser in his hand, being able to transition then to his pistol at close range. What you notice there is he chose to leave the long gun behind, leaning up against the fence, and then he launched himself over the fence. So a couple of things there to think about in terms of training. Trying to create scenarios that are as realistic as possible. Also, one thing that's worth mentioning is the more physically fit one is, the more cognitively sharp they're going to be to make wise decisions under a little bit of heat stress and chaotic situations. So they've been running, they've been sprinting, short duration sprints, launching themselves over fences, obstacles like vehicles. The more physically fit you are, the more cognitively sharp you are to make a wise decision when needed.